When a woman turns 40, something in her eyes changes. The softness that once begged for love hardens into a silent demand for power. She no longer wants to be adored. She wants to be chosen again. After years of sacrifice, of motherhood, of being the caretaker and the giver, she wakes up one morning and asks herself, "What about me?" That question is the beginning of her quiet rebellion. She starts to dress differently, speak differently, think differently. Not for her husband, not for her family, but for herself, or for the world that still might desire her. And the man who once believed he knew her watches in confusion, realizing too late that she's not seeking freedom from routine. She's seeking freedom from him. What every woman does after 40 isn't random. It's the delayed explosion of everything she's been forced to suppress. And what she secretly wants is to feel alive again, even if it means killing what once made her feel safe. Number 1. She starts taking care of herself, but not for him. It begins subtly. A new haircut, a gym membership, a change in perfume. She says she just wants to feel better. But a man who's been through heartbreak knows that's a dangerous phrase. Because when a woman starts caring for herself after years of not caring, she isn't just chasing beauty. She's chasing attention. Not from you, but from the invisible crowd that she believes has stopped seeing her. She tells herself it's empowerment, self-love, healing. But deep down, it's something darker. The hunger to be desired again. The same woman who once told you looks don't matter now spends hours perfecting her reflection. The wife who used to wear comfort now dresses like she's auditioning for someone else's gaze. And she'll insist, "I'm doing this for me." But every mirror knows she's not. After 40, the fear of fading becomes a quiet war inside her. Time no longer feels like a friend. It's a thief. Every wrinkle whispers that her currency is expiring. So she invests, not in her marriage but in herself. And at first you might even cheer her on. You think, good for her. Until one day you realize, she's not coming back to you after the gym. She's coming back to her phone, to the comments, to the dopamine rush of being noticed again. The tragedy is that men often mistake this for self-improvement. But a man who's seen the cycle knows this is metamorphosis before departure. It's not about losing weight. It's about shedding the identity of wife. The nails, the makeup, the selfies, they're not vanity. They're armor. Every stroke of lipstick says, "I'm not done yet." Every filtered photo screams, "I can still be wanted," and she can. The world is full of eyes waiting to tell her what you've forgotten to say. While you're busy fixing things, she's fixing herself. Not for repair, but for release. You start to feel her slipping away, molecule by molecule. She still sits beside you, but her energy has already crossed the border. When women take care of themselves, it's rarely innocent. It's the first act of rebellion disguised as self-love. It's the silent preparation for a new audience. And the cruel irony? The man she once dressed down for, now she dresses up for someone else's imagination. In every transformation there's a goodbye that no one says out loud. And by the time you realize she wasn't fixing herself for you, it's already too late. Because when a woman rediscovers her reflection, she doesn't just see herself. She sees the door. Number 2, she talks about freedom, but what she really wants is escape. It always begins with innocent words. "I just need space. I feel trapped." To a man in love, those sentences sound reasonable. You think she's tired, maybe stressed. You give her room, not knowing that every inch you grant becomes a mile she'll walk away. Because when a woman starts speaking about freedom after 40, she's not searching for balance. She's preparing for departure. She's not chained to you, but she feels imprisoned by the version of herself that you know. The wife, the mother, the caregiver, the predictable one. She wants to feel unpredictable again. To feel that she could wake up one day and rewrite her story without you in it. So she calls it self-discovery. She wants to travel alone, meet new people, find her energy. But every journey she takes without you isn't about discovery. It's about detachment. Freedom is not the goal. Distance is. The more she rediscovers the world, the less she recognizes the home she built with you. And you'll notice the shift. Conversations turn shallow. Laughter becomes polite. She stops fighting with you, not because peace has returned, but because she's no longer emotionally invested. Silence becomes her new language. You'll feel her presence, but not her warmth. You'll hold her hand, but she's already walking somewhere else in her mind. Men often think women leave because they're unhappy. That's only half true. Women after 40 leave because they can't bear the thought of dying where they no longer feel alive. They call it freedom, but it's really resurrection. The rebirth of a woman who feels she's wasted her best years serving others. And when she finally dares to live for herself, every past sacrifice becomes a chain she must break. Even if that means breaking you. You'll see her smile more in photos, laugh louder with friends, post quotes about growth and peace. You'll think she's healed. But healing, in her dictionary, means forgetting you existed. The woman who once begged you to stay now prays you let her go quietly. Because nothing terrifies her more than being dragged back into the version of herself she escaped from. So when she says, "I need freedom," hear the truth behind it. She's not asking to breathe. She's asking to leave. Number 3. She starts comparing and idealizing another man. It never happens overnight. It begins with a sentence that sounds harmless. He really understands me. Maybe it's a coworker who listens. Maybe it's an old friend who suddenly reappears online. At first, she swears it's just conversation, just emotional support. But a man who's lived through heartbreak knows, emotional support is where the affair begins, long before bodies ever touch. She doesn't fall for the man himself. She falls for the contrast, for how he makes her feel different from how you make her feel now. Every word from him feels like oxygen, because in her mind, you've become the suffocation. She's not cheating on you yet. She's cheating on the memory of you. Comparison is a slow poison. She starts measuring you against the fantasy she's building in her head. That new man doesn't have to be better, he only has to be new. Every message he sends confirms her hidden belief. That she still matters, that she's still seen, still wanted. And the more she feeds that fantasy, the more reality you becomes unbearable. She tells herself, "I deserve to be happy." Those words sound noble, but they're dangerous. Because now she must justify her distance. To protect her new fantasy, she begins to rewrite history, painting herself as the unloved wife, and you as the cold, inattentive man. Every flaw of yours becomes proof that she was right to drift away. Every kindness becomes too late. You no longer exist as a person, but as the villain in her redemption story. The truth is, she's not seeking another man. She's seeking a mirror that reflects a younger version of herself. The woman who used to be desired, admired, chased. He just happens to be standing in front of that mirror at the right time. And when you finally sense what's happening, it's already too late. You'll try to talk, to reconnect, to remind her who you are. But she'll look at you with that distant calm. Not anger, not guilt, just detachment. Because she's already made peace with the betrayal in her heart. Physical infidelity is only the final step. The real betrayal happens in silence, in thought, in imagination. She'll keep comparing you until you lose. Not because you changed, but because she needs you to lose to justify leaving. And when she does, she'll call it growth, healing, finding herself. But for the man left behind, it's the quiet realization that love isn't stolen by another. It's rewritten by the one you trusted most. Number 4. She becomes spiritually awakened, but it's an emotional escape. When she starts speaking about energy, vibration, and healing, you might think she's growing wiser. She isn't. She's escaping not from the world, but from the weight of her guilt. Spiritual awakening becomes her elegant disguise for emotional withdrawal. It's not enlightenment. It's justification. She'll tell you she's learning to align her energy, to let go of negativity. What she means is that she's detaching from you, gently, gracefully, almost saintly. She no longer argues because she's transcended the need to explain. She no longer cries because she's convinced herself pain is beneath her. And when you ask what's wrong, she'll smile and say, "I'm just evolving." But evolution, for her, means evolving away from you. Yoga mats replace intimacy. Meditation replaces conversation. She closes her eyes, not to find peace, but to erase the image of the man she once depended on. Each spiritual quote she shares online isn't wisdom. It's a coded message to herself. I deserve to start over. This kind of awakening isn't holy. It's surgical. She's cutting emotional cords under the guise of finding inner peace. The language of healing becomes her weapon. Soft, poetic, and lethal. You can't fight it because how can you argue with someone claiming to seek peace? So you stay silent, watching her float further into her higher self, while you remain anchored in the wreckage of what used to be us. To the outside world, she seems calm, radiant, renewed. But you see the truth. It's not light in her eyes. It's distance. She's not ascending. She's disappearing. Spirituality, for her, becomes the perfect armor, one that makes betrayal look like transformation. She'll say things like, "Our souls aren't aligned anymore," or "We've served our purpose in each other's lives." Philosophical words that sound noble, but behind them lies a simple fact. She's fallen out of love and doesn't want to be the villain. So she wraps detachment in divine language. And when she finally walks away, she won't slam the door. She'll whisper, "Thank you for everything," and vanish like a monk leaving a temple, serene, guiltless, untouchable. But the man she leaves behind knows the truth. Her peace was bought with his pain. Because in this kind of awakening, one soul finds freedom by quietly burying another. Number 5. She craves recognition, especially from other men. After 40, something strange happens to a woman's soul. She doesn't want love the way she used to. She wants acknowledgement. She wants to be seen, admired, desired, not by the man who already knows her, but by the world that has forgotten she exists. Compliments from her husband feel routine, empty, recycled. But a single glance from a stranger can make her feel alive again. That's the danger men rarely understand. Women don't cheat for sex. They cheat for validation. She starts posting pictures online, subtle at first. A smile in good lighting, a quote about strength, a coffee cup next to a book about self-love. She says it's just sharing her life, but every heart she receives feeds something deeper. The hunger to be seen as beautiful again. The more the world praises her, the less your words matter. You'll see her change. She'll spend hours choosing a dress for a dinner that's not with you. She'll glow differently, not from affection, but from attention. Because attention is her new drug, and every like, every message, every gaze is a dose that keeps her from facing her biggest fear, becoming invisible. Men often think a woman's midlife transformation is about independence. It isn't. It's about relevance. After years of giving, she wants to be wanted. Not as a mother, not as a wife, but as a woman. And the cruel twist is this. She no longer needs your approval, yet she secretly measures her worth through the eyes of other men. So she chases moments that make her feel desired. Harmless conversations, flirtatious compliments, that lingering text from a man who didn't mean anything. But these moments become her reflection. They remind her that she still has power, the feminine power she sacrificed in the name of love and family. And once she tastes it again, she won't want to give it up. Meanwhile, you'll watch her drift into a new world, one where she doesn't need to be loved deeply, only noticed briefly, where her worth depends on the echo of attention she gathers. And the tragedy? She doesn't even see how addicted she's become. She mistakes the thrill of being admired for happiness, the spotlight for healing, the validation for love. In the end, every compliment becomes a confession. She's not looking for men. She's looking for mirrors. Mirrors that tell her she still matters. Mirrors that reflect the woman she's terrified of losing. And as she basks in that fleeting glow of recognition, the man who once saw her before anyone else watches in silence, realizing that he's been replaced, not by another man, but by the endless crowd of eyes she now lives for. Number 6. She says she wants peace, but she's already planning her escape. It always sounds gentle at first. I just want peace. I'm tired of fighting. To the unbroken man, those words seem mature, reasonable. But to the man who's lived through it, they sound like the funeral song of a relationship still pretending to be alive. Because when a woman starts asking for peace, she's not seeking calm. She's seeking distance. Peace, to her, means silence. Silence from guilt, silence from your voice, silence from the reminder of everything she's no longer willing to feel. She doesn't want to fix things anymore. She wants to stop caring. The storm is already over, not because it's been resolved, but because she's stopped standing in the rain. You'll notice it in small ways. She doesn't ask where you've been. She doesn't react when you're cold. She smiles politely, speaks softly, and every gesture feels final. You think she's healing, but she's packing. Not bags, emotions. She's already folding her feelings, one by one, placing them neatly into the suitcase of goodbye. The cruelest part is that she'll still say she loves you. And in some distant, nostalgic way she does. But that love no longer carries warmth, it's mercy. She loves you the way people love a memory. With tenderness, but no intention of returning. Her words will soothe you just long enough for her to slip away unnoticed. When she stops arguing, don't celebrate peace. Mourn it. Because conflict means she still cares enough to fight. Silence means she's gone. The man who doesn't understand this will mistake withdrawal for maturity, when in truth it's emotional death disguised as calm. She'll start building a world without you long before she physically leaves. New routines, new hobbies, new friends. A new identity that doesn't include your name. And when she finally walks out, it won't be impulsive. It will be rehearsed. Every peaceful smile. Every, I just need time. Every quiet night. All of it was her way of rehearsing life after you. So when she says, I just want peace, don't believe the softness. Peace is not what she's chasing. It's the silence after the explosion. It's the calm she needs to bury what's already dead. And while you're still waiting for the storm to pass, she's already standing in the sunlight of her next beginning. Because when a woman truly wants peace, it's because she's already made peace with leaving you behind. In the end, every man must face a brutal truth. You can't save someone who's already decided to be reborn without you. Love doesn't end in screams or tears. It ends in silence, in distance, in the quiet click of a door that no longer opens for you. And maybe that's the final lesson. Sometimes the most painful awakening is realizing that peace was never about staying. It was about letting go. If this message hit something inside you, don't let it fade. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you've seen, what you've lost, or what you've learned from the woman who walked away. Hit the like button if you felt this truth. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe for more raw, unfiltered reflections on love, loss, and the psychology of awakening. Because somewhere out there, another man is waking up, and your story might be the light he needs to survive the dark.